The U.S. and Israel have been close allies for decades. They share intelligence, do military exercises together, and the U.S. gives Israel lots of money. But lately, things have been a little frosty between the two. Some people even say the U.S. might be breaking up with Israel, so what's going on? Well, it's complicated. There's no single reason why the relationship is strained. But there are some big issues that are driving a wedge between them. One of the biggest issues is the Palestinians. The U.S. has always tried to be a neutral mediator in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but that's becoming increasingly difficult. Israel is continuing to build settlements in the West Bank, which makes a two-state solution less likely. And the Palestinians are divided between Fatah and Hamas, which makes it hard to negotiate with them. Another issue is Iran. The U.S. and Israel both see Iran as a threat, but they disagree on how to deal with that threat. Israel wants the U.S. to take a hard line against Iran, including the possibility of military action. But the U.S. is more cautious. They want to use diplomacy and sanctions to try to get Iran to change its behavior. These are just some of the issues that are causing tension between the U.S. and Israel. It remains to be seen whether they can overcome these differences and repair their relationship. But one thing is for sure, the stakes are high. The future of the Middle East may depend on it. Back in 2017, President Trump took a big trip to the Middle East. He visited Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE, all big-time oil producers. He made huge business deals, shook hands with kings and princes, and basically said, America is open for business. But here's the thing, he completely skipped over Israel. Now, usually, when a US president goes to the Middle East, Israel is the first stop. It's like going to your grandma's house. You gotta pay your respects. So, skipping Israel, that was a big deal. People were like, whoa, is Trump sending a message here? And you know what? He probably was. See, Trump's all about America first. He wants deals that benefit the US, and he doesn't care too much about traditional alliances, so he went where the money was, to the Gulf states. They've got oil, they've got cash, and they're looking to buy weapons and influence. Now let's talk about those business deals. We're talking billions with a B of dollars, arms sales, energy investments, infrastructure projects, you name it. Trump came back from that trip like a kid who just robbed a candy store. But it wasn't just about the money. These deals were also about shifting alliances in the Middle East. The US was basically saying to the Gulf states, hey, you're important players now, let's do business. And you know who wasn't happy about this? Israel. They've always been the US's main man in the Middle East. But now, it seemed like the US was cozying up to their rivals, countries that don't even recognize Israel. This was a big change in US foreign policy. It was all about putting American interests first, even if it meant shaking things up in the Middle East. So, what does this all mean for the US and Israel? Well, it's complicated. They're still allies, but things are definitely different. The US is less willing to give Israel a blank check, and they're more willing to work with other countries in the region, even if Israel doesn't like it. Take Syria, for example. The US and Israel are on opposite sides of that conflict. The US is trying to work with the Syrian government, while Israel is bombing them, and then there's the whole issue of Palestine. The US might even recognize Palestine as a country, which would be a huge deal. The bottom line is this. The Middle East is changing, and the US is changing with it. The old rules don't apply anymore. It's a new game, and it's anyone's guess who's going to come out on top. One thing's for sure, it's going to be interesting to watch.